So what the hell just happened? Something I, as a Eurovision fan of over 20 years now, say regularly pretty much every weekend of any given Eurovision season when another national final result goes the way that most of us didn't anticipate. But for 2025 it's also the title of the United Kingdom's entry for the upcoming edition of the Eurovision Song Contest, which as we all know will take place this May in Basel, Switzerland. Time for a new video. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. This is yet another Eurovision 2025 related video here on my channel, and another reaction type video as well, because right now I am about to listen in full for the first time to the United Kingdom's entry for the 2025 edition of the Eurovision Song Contest. As always, feel free to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment down below, and as always there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. So, the worst kept secret of this Eurovision season is now out. Representing the United Kingdom in May will be the three-piece girl group Remember Monday with the song What the Hell Just Happened. Now, I am reading from the Eurovision official website. On Friday, the 7th of March, that's today, the BBC revealed the United Kingdom's entry to the 69th Eurovision Song Contest. The group Remember Monday will perform What the Hell Just Happened in Basel, and the music video, which I'll be watching in just a moment for the first time, has premiered over on the official Eurovision Song Contest YouTube channel. The song chronicles the aftermath of a fun night out with friends and is said to perfectly showcase the band's humour, relatability and their signature harmonies, an upbeat pop track full of energy, excitement and drama. So it is going to be pop again for the UK. We still haven't quite taken that risk and opted for something a bit more rock in style. Anyway, the UK entry was written by the trio themselves, along with Thomas Steingard, Julie Agard, Tom Hollings, Sam Brennan and Kes Kamara. Why we need so many songwriters I don't know, but there we are. The group is made up of Lauren Byrne, Holly-Ann Hull and Charlotte Steele. The trio met while studying together and soon bonded over a shared passion for music. Soon enough, the girls were singing together, sharing videos on TikTok and becoming something of a viral sensation. Now, I have to say, I was not really familiar with this group until the start of this year. A lot of people were starting to talk about who might possibly represent the UK. Their name was mentioned in a few different places, and then I sort of forgot about them. And then I made a video several weeks ago about who could represent the UK, and I think in the comments section of that video somebody mentioned Remember Monday, and I thought, oh yeah, that name is ringing a bell. So I listened to some of their previous music, thought it was alright, and certainly over the past fortnight it just became more and more apparent that it was going to be this group. The British press about 2 or 3 weeks ago pretty much confirmed it was going to be this group. So there was no element of surprise this morning when the official announcement was made on BBC Radio 2. It also says here, Remember Monday also appeared together on The Voice UK in 2019, where they were coached by icon Jennifer Hudson. In 2023, the three singers left their respective jobs to focus on the group full-time. Since then, they've released a steady slew of singles. I wouldn't say this is a group that has had enormous commercial success, but they do have a reasonable following online for sure. Plus 2 EPs, 2023's Hysterical Women, followed by Crazy Anyway last year. And that's pretty much all it says about them. The music video then, which at the time of this recording has had just under 57,000 views. It is 3 minutes and 13 seconds long. Now, the song pretty much leaked or was released in some different countries elsewhere 24 hours ago, so a lot of people have already heard this. What I'm watching won't be in the bottom corner of the video you're watching, that's the way it usually is. The UK has won Eurovision 5 times, but not this century. We were there in 1957, the second Eurovision in Frankfurt. That's when the UK made its debut. Our form over the past decade in particular has been very, very disappointing. In fact, our form over the past 20 years has been a big fat disappointment. If we look at the entries specifically over the past 10 years, in 2015 the UK were represented by Electro Velvet with Still in Love with You. Electro Swing, yes, something a bit different, taking a bit of a risk. It definitely didn't pay off. A male-female double act. They went for a sort of cabaret sort of 1920s vintage-looking aesthetic for the performance in Vienna that year. Lights all over their outfits. It was quite cringy. And although the song is just about tolerable, in my opinion, it was a low point in the UK's history at Eurovision, if you ask me. In 2016, we went back to a national final, and of course, the British public can't always be trusted with a vote, so we ended up sending Joe and Jake to Stockholm with You're Not Alone. Two guys, quite likeable, they gave it a good go. The song simply wasn't strong enough, it wasn't competitive enough, and the result was no surprise. In 2017 in Kyiv, we sent former X Factor star Lucy Jones, who's done a lot of theatre work over the years, great singer. Never Give Up On You was co-written by former winner for Denmark, Emily de Forest. The staging was very beautiful, lovely ballad, quite underrated in the end, it has to be said. The jurors didn't like this quite as much as I thought they were going to. The public, to no real surprise, didn't really give much of a crap about it, so in the end Lucy finished in mid-table. But we gave it a really good go that year, and it showed, I would say. Then we were represented by Surrey with Storm in Lisbon in 2018. The song wasn't strong enough, it wasn't competitive enough. Surrey, very likeable, again, really went into it with a very positive attitude. She did have that stage invader, and my word, did she recover well. In the end, the result was as expected, but it didn't really feel like a big disappointment because she did so well to recover from what was a pretty scary incident on stage. Then we had Michael Rice with Bigger Than Us in Tel Aviv in 2019. Again, not strong enough, not competitive enough. Something the UK's really been lacking for a very long time is a competitive edge. I cannot really remember too many instances in my time as a Eurovision fan where the UK has had a song that feels as though it really is in it to win it. Sam Ryder's an exception. I'll get onto him in a moment. But most of the time we have a song that's just okay. It is lacking that edge to really challenge for victory. I listened to the Austrian song yesterday and I thought, wow, this has a slight competitive edge, no doubt about it. It's in it to win it. A lot of songs that come out of Sweden, you feel they're sort of in it to win it. The UK's really been lacking that for a long time. Anyway, Michael Rice, Bigger Than Us, not strong enough. The staging was really, really disappointing. The result was no surprise. Then we had two entries by James Newman. His song in 2020 was fine, but had the contest gone ahead that year, I think we would have struggled. And then a year later, it was Embers, with the big styrofoam-like trumpets floating above the stage. He was in this long black coat. He had a couple of dancers with him pretending to play trumpets. A pretty up-tempo song, fairly lively, but ultimately also fell flat on its face, in all honesty. And the result, a 0-0, just absolutely shocking, in all honesty. I'm not sure that should have happened, but it did. And I think that should have been an enormous wake-up call to the UK. And it was, really, because the following year in Turin, Sam Ryder came along. He was a big star on TikTok. I wasn't massively familiar with his name, I'll be honest. But this guy came along, really, really upbeat about everything, sang the hell out of Spaceman every single time. The staging was great. We had a cushy slot in the running order in the grand final as well, which did help. And the momentum built up, and he won the jury. Jury voted well with the public. Second place, fantastic. Then in Liverpool, we hosted on behalf of Ukraine, of course. The atmosphere was really fantastic. The general consensus around Eurovision in the UK was a lot more positive all of a sudden. The press were talking about it more in a positive light. The TV, journalists were talking about it in a more positive light as well. There was a lot more coverage, which was no surprise because the UK were hosting, but there was a lot more coverage about Eurovision than normal, and it was very exciting to see. We were represented by Mae Muller with I Wrote a Song. The studio version's pretty solid. Live, we were last in the running order. It felt a bit flat. Nobody was really expecting us to do that well on the day of the final. The staging was a little bit disappointing. Vocally, it wasn't quite strong enough. In the end, the result was no surprise. And then last year, Ollie Alexander, who's had a lot of success here in the UK, he's had success as a singer, he's been quite successful as an actor, he came along with Dizzy, and I remember listening to that song for the first time. The reaction will be up on my channel somewhere, and I thought this isn't quite hitting the mark. The chorus is a letdown. That's sort of messing up the whole song for me, in all honesty, and I think a lot of other people felt the same way. He went to Malmö. For some reason, the staging was what it was, rather erotic, guys with their tops off. He was sticking his tongue out, some sort of dingy-looking bathroom that swayed from side to side. I didn't have a problem with it. I just still to this day don't really understand why it was presented in that manner. It's almost as if all the effort went into the staging to cover up the fact that the song simply wasn't strong enough. We see this every year sometimes. The staging is great, and that's almost better than what the song actually is. Anyway, Ollie Alexander obviously did okay in the jury vote, but really struggled with the public. He got a big fat 0, and he was there clapping and celebrating in the green room, and I thought, I really do feel sorry for you. And some of the things that he said after Eurovision, it's clear that last year was a very testing experience for him. Indeed, for all of the artists, because of the absolute shite show that was happening backstage. Anyway, I've rambled long enough. I don't want to sound bad here, but I think the pressure is on Remember Monday, because either the UK is going back to square one at Eurovision, and the Sam Ryder effect has well and truly worn off, or we are continuing to send songs that feel pretty solid, and hopefully in this instance something that feels damn competitive. Within 40 seconds we will know if this is good enough. I say it all the time, I absolutely believe it to be true. Eurovision fans know pretty quickly if a song for Eurovision has something about it or not. We will know within about 40 to 50 seconds if this song has potential. We will see. Obviously, I will hear this more over the coming days. Let me know what you think. Remember Monday, it's a Friday. That's a massive mistake by the BBC. Here we go. Big moments here, big moments. Deliver, deliver, no excuses. Okay. I wonder where this was filmed already. Starting in a ballad-like fashion, excuse me. Okay, we're 53 seconds in. I'm not blown away so far. It feels as though now it's going to kick into gear. I would already say that even though we're only 53 seconds in, I would already say it's taken a bit too long to kick into gear. Admittedly, the first 20 seconds or so, there was no music. This feels like it's going to be very sort of West End musical, a sort of rock musical type thing going on here. I can hear elements of things like Queen a little bit, I would say. Okay, let's keep on going. I really don't know what to say about this. I wish I was liking it more. It feels very up and down here. And I'd actually say it's coming across, to me at least, as though it's not massively cohesive. I really feel bad saying this because I so badly wanted to like this. But at the moment I can't quite get into it. It's almost as if we gathered momentum and then it was totally sapped away again. For some reason. This chorus, I hate to say it, I don't think it's strong enough again. Staging will be key. Okay. It's okay, this, it really is. But who's going to vote for it? I just don't know. I'm already thinking about some of the songs this year. And I'm thinking to myself, already it's very, very clear to me that they are going to get a lot more love. I'm looking at Finland, that is easily going to get more points than this. I'm looking at even Norway, and I think that song's fairly bang average. I'm looking at Norway's track, and I think that could do a lot better. I'm looking at Iceland's track, if that gets into the final. That could do a bit better. Maybe I'm just being way too negative here. But this is not blowing me away. It really isn't. Their vocals are good. It's sort of old school, slight electro pop. The verses are fine. It's very musical theatre. It really is. And if you're not a fan of musicals, you probably won't like this. Okay, slowing down again here. Okay. There is a bit more momentum in this final third. Where was this earlier? Well, I feel like I haven't said much at all in this reaction, so I'm sorry to disappoint. I think that's going to struggle. With the public, I think that's really going to struggle. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I think the juries might like it. Staging will be key. Vocals will be key. We all know this. But that, to me, it's lacking that competitive edge. I really do. I feel as though the chorus, the real selling point, is not hitting top gear whatsoever. I really don't. I think maybe it got better as it went on. And the verses, I'm liking the rhythm, I'm liking the momentum that is there. But this is... I can see this struggling. Oh, how can you possibly say that after hearing the song all the way through just once? Well, I felt this way with Ollie Alexander last year, and we know what happened there. The group are not the problem. Let's make that very clear. It's never the group. It's never the artist, really, that is the problem. It's the song. Let's see what some of the comments are saying. I absolutely love this and will be voting for it from Sweden. These girls, well, some people are mentioning Malta. Let's move on from that. Queen mixed with Little Mix. As someone from the UK who usually hates our entries, I have to say I love this. A lot of staging potential for this. Well, it seems as though the... Oh. Interesting. Well, it seems as though the general consensus is quite positive, which is nice to see. That means a few points might roll in. I'll have to give it a few more listens. I'll be interested to know where Eurovision fans have ranked this in their personal rankings so far. I think for me, it does feel different for the UK. It feels very musical theatre. It reminds me of Gresula's song in Melfest, in all honesty. It's very up and down. I wish it had the same sort of energy throughout. I think that's what's really sort of putting me off here, is that it doesn't know whether to be quite lively or to sort of be a little bit more gentle somehow, if that's the right word to use. Anyway, that's it. Let me know what you think about this particular entry, and I really wish I could sit here and be a bit more positive. I'm not just being negative because I'm British and this is my own country's entry. Far from it. I'm being very honest with you, as always on this channel. I don't think it's quite hitting the mark for me. Maybe I'm in the minority. I'd say it's better than last year's entry, so that's a positive. But I still don't think this is quite competitive enough. You know, there are one or two songs this Eurovision season that I heard for the first time, and I thought, wow, that clearly is going to get a lot of love from the public in May if it goes to Eurovision. You know, the likes of Finland, one or two others as well. And like with Dizzy, I'm just thinking to myself, where are the votes going to come from? I don't know. Anyway, let's not dwell on it too much. Let me know what you think, and I'll be back with another Eurovision 2025 related video very soon. Until next time, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye for now.